is for faggots.
How y'all doing, bitches? Yeah. Welcome to another brand new episode of the Kris Avalon Show.
Unfiltered, filtered, filtered, filtered.
But yes, right short and right to the point. Anyway, welcome to Kris Avalon Unfiltered, brand new show. Hi, it's your boy Kris Avalon. And yeah, this show is basically going to be a 2-hour podcast where I'm just going to be going in and talking about a whole bunch of stuff. So I just want to give you guys a little preview. So basically, I'm here to fill you guys in on what's going on. It's the next chapter, on the line will still be around. There'll just be long form topics that I mean, not long form, short form. Like we're going back to that. So like if I need to jump on real quick and just do like little short form videos, we're gonna go back to that. But Kris Avalon Unfiltered was basically it stems from the old Kris Avalon show. Now, for those of you who have followed me in the beginning, like we had the Kris Avalon show, which was on All Digital Radio for 7 seasons. So it was the longest running podcast that I've had in a long time. So kudos to that. Kudos and applause to Sir Daryl for giving me the platform as well as Host Chat Live, which was the show that came on before mine, the place to do, because we were, I think, the only two LGBT infused shows that were streaming on that station. But then some stuff happened. We parted ways. And then we just took some time to figure out, okay, so where we're going to go next and all this other stuff. So I have all the information stuff at the bottom if you guys want to follow that. So, EJ has been doing a lot of research because he was with Host Chat Live. He produces a lot of the stuff that you guys see on YouTube and everywhere else that we're streaming. I stream on Twitter. There was a whole thing where I was literally trying to figure out how to stream from my Instagram. But, of course, Facebook wants to put me in jail for 3 months over some old damn stuff. The politics of Mark Zuckerberg and his BS. So we're still working that stuff out. I just signed up for TikTok. We're trying to go through there. And with some drama happened with that. But look, nevertheless, I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitter. Y'all can follow me. So if y'all are watching, definitely follow this information down here. But anyway, so we were looking into some things, and the best place that we can kind of go with is we're going to be doing the show. It's going to be uploaded on Anchor, which you can listen to the show like you were when you were following on my other platforms, be it the Stitcher app, it was on Apple Music, it was on iTunes, it was all over the place. So Mixlr, mixlr.com is where you guys can go and sign up, download the app, get all your information and stuff from there. All the information is right here, down below, right in there. If you want to, basically follow that. So my show is still going to have the 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. time slot every Saturday. And yeah, so basically I'm just going to be giving you a lot of stuff. I'm going to, of course, give you a little unfiltered rant. You know how like Jerry Springer used to do his final thought back in the day? Well, it's going to be, I'm just going to do it like a little rant. So somebody may do something stupid and I'm just going to have to drag them through the goddamn mud, read them filth. I was thinking maybe I'm just going to have to type it up like Charlemagne does Donkey of the Day. But you know me, I tend to go off the dome with stuff and I'm pretty much good with that. So I'll probably stick with that. Maybe write some little blueprints so that way I'll stay on topic. But yeah, so basically it's gonna be celebrity as a CELEBRI-T. I gotta always play with I love playing with words and puns and things. So it's gonna be we're talking about what's going on in entertainment news and gossip and stuff, not only from the United States, but I do global shit too. So anything going on in the UK and other places where international musicians and this, that, and the third, I will be bringing that news here. Of course, we're going to be talking about our usual entertainment news, including what's going on with the latest trending topics. And we're going to also, since it will be a visual podcast as well as an audio, we're also going to be bringing in some viral clips to, and playing the hottest new music, live reviews, and more, plus my opinions and rants and politics and LGBTQ stuff. So yeah, I will still have my portion of the show where I'll be talking about a lot of LGBT entertainment news and things that's going on in politics, stuff that a lot of the blogs and stuff aren't talking about, and a lot of the media isn't talking about. So yeah, we'll talk about like what's going on with Ed Buck. We'll talk about what's going on with, and him going to jail for 30 years. We'll save that for the podcast. Ooh, yes, music. Come on now. And we'll talk about what's going on and what's going on and what's going to affect our community. Not that stupid dumb shit. We could pause. We can still talk about the fluffiness and all that other crap that is going on, like with reality TV and gays acting messy and all that. So we can still bring that, but also we should talk about things that's going to affect our community. So I think it's vitally important that we bring that information and stuff to you guys, so you may not be aware of a lot of things. And I basically want to bring in that information because I like being the messengers and delivering the message to you guys and giving my unfiltered opinion on those things. So it's just going to be a whole lot of stuff, but I want to give you a little sample of what you can expect, because I did mix up a couple of times. We're going to do a few topics. I'm going to try to keep this episode brief. So that way you can, you'll be able to chime in and all this other stuff. So yeah, there's a couple of topics I was like, let me just give everybody a little taste of what you guys can expect of the podcast. And then we'll, be experimenting, and I'll probably switching things around. So yeah, if you have the, if you download all that, down here, the Anchor and then Mixlr.com, you'll be able to hear the full show. Once I get the whole thing situated with Instagram, I will be posting a 1 hour of me on Instagram where you could actually see what's going on there with the show. Hey Hugo. So all that good stuff. But yeah, so I think I've talked enough about Kris Avalon Unfiltered. I do like the filter and everything that's going on. So let's get right into the gig, bitch. So sidebar. I'll say it. Okay. So one of the things I wanted to get into, because we're going to be talking about NeNe leaks and all that good stuff. We'll get to the top stories. But one of the things I wanted to talk about, and I didn't have the opportunity to, because I've been working on so many things and getting this show up and running, is RuPaul's Drag Race. Let's talk about that good old finale. So season 14 finally came to an end after it seemed like it was on my damn TV for 6 damn months. It was only 3, but I like to exaggerate. And congratulations to my girl Willow Pill. I knew she was gonna win. I said in my spirit, I was like, from the beginning, the minute she poured that spaghetti up in the tub and everything, and the toaster and all that, I said, I don't know what's happening. I know this is a hot ass mess, but I'm living for it. And so her original style of dragging on some of the stuff I thought was relatively interesting. And she was pretty much, I was a big fan of hers from the beginning. So I'm actually excited that she won. It wasn't until like towards the end I was like, okay, I could definitely see Willow becoming winning, and second place going to Lady Camden. I didn't see it for Lady Camden in the beginning. I don't think a lot of people did. I know there were some people that I know that did see it for her, but it wasn't until later on in the episodes I was like, okay, now I'm starting to see it. I didn't see it in the beginning. There were sometimes when I had my eyes locked on somebody, I guess because of the type of drag that I do like. I like the out of the box type of drag. So my aesthetic that I kind of go for the Sasha Velour types and the Willow Pills and the Jinx Monsoons. Like I'm, oh yeah, and I also have a new show, forgot to mention, a sidebar coming soon as well. So I have a lot of things going on. So be prepared. And make sure you guys tune in next week. It's coming soon, because we were planning on trying to come next week, but until we work out some of these kinks and stuff, I will keep you guys abreast. Like I got banners and photos and all these other things getting created, so that way I can bring you guys the information and have everything really worked out that you can see. But I just wanted to come on and let people know, because I know there's been a lot of people. Use a free one. And I know what was it? I know a lot of people have been kind of sliding into my DMs for good reasons, not nasty stuff, but and wanting to know, so what's going on with the podcasts are coming back? What are you doing? So we have a preview, or is this the preview? I'm trying to understand what the hell you're saying, but we have a preview of the show. Oh yes, I said that. This is a sneak peek. This is a preview of what to expect from the new show. It's a sidebar, basically what you're looking at, which is the top stories of the week. So, which is cute. So we're gonna do like a little countdown of topics and all these other things. Sidebar. That's what all that means. In case I were wondering. Childless is a mess, but I live for messy. When I'm live, it's all over the place. You never know what you're going to get. Like Forrest Gump and a box of chocolates, bitch. So anyway, and one of the things I was interested in, shout out to Variety, because they were spilling lots of tea of what happened behind the scenes of Drag Race. But they were saying like, well, we know it was 90 minutes. And they said that the filming took place a few weeks ago at the Flamingo Hotel in Vegas, home to the RuPaul's Drag Race live show, and it came in at just under. Child, they shot that reunion in 5 hours. It took them 5 hours to shoot that. I heard when Ru descended from the ceiling with the It's Chocolate banner behind her, the chocolate bar banner. They were saying that she shot that in the middle of the show, so it wasn't even like in the beginning. I would think that you would have them come down and everybody be surprised and stuff, but I guess the gag was they had to have it happen in the middle of the show. So, that's the magic of television. And then a fan in the audience asked, while they were setting up the sequences, Michelle Visage was basically the audience's MC. And someone asked her, who would she save, RuPaul or Leah Remini? Because they're best friends. And she basically said, I'd take myself out of the equation and let them fight it out, which is actually cute. And you know what? I've been saying this for the longest, and I know a lot of people didn't see it, but I would definitely love to see a Michelle Visage, Leah Remini talk show, or at least a podcast, because I know Ru has What's the Tea with Michelle. I would love to see one with Leah and Michelle, because they have a different type of banter besides her. And it will also show that, because I know they've done the roast and stuff in the past, and they said basically Michelle is always riding Ru's coattails, but Ru likes to keep her around because they have that chemistry. And if you know TV, people love, if you have that great chemistry together, nobody wants to let that go. So the good thing about it is, let's just keep these two around because we have such chemistry, we have a dynamic. Why do you think Bill Cosby always had Felissa Rashad as his wife on every type of damn TV sitcom that he created? Because they had that chemistry, and he didn't have it with any other woman. And quiet as it's kept, because we all know the tea about Bill Cosby. Maybe she was the only one that was able to put up with his bullshit that he was getting away with. So that documentary on Showtime, you know what I mean? About when he was on the Cosby Show and certain things he was doing with certain actresses that he would promise roles to. So. Feedback, in the words of Janet Jackson. Feedback. And so there was so congratulations to the girls on Drag Race and all the other stuff, and I'm happy for Willow. But there was another thing I wanted to talk about too. So let's talk about Simone, because one of the things that irritated me about the whole thing of watching that show, I mean, I like the performance and stuff, but to me, honestly, she had it in the bag. Willow had it in the bag. I love the performance. I like the little long, the suit with the long arms, and it was just, she looked like a little baby troll. It was just, it was cute. Everything that she was doing and the mechanics, and then she rips it off, and then she has like this giant, literally a pantsuit, which was like made of giant pants. So I just liked everything about what she was coming up with. And that was just, oh no, that's not. That was literally something else, not a drag queen at all. But I just loved everything about her. But one of the things I wanted to say about, no, that was something I was literally trying to send you earlier. That's not right. But anyway, one of the things I wanted to talk about was Simone and her look, that how there were people that were on social media that were trying to come for her because they felt that she didn't bring the fashion, and were trying to hold her to the same regard as Violet Chachki during her finale. And one thing was, while I liked Violet Chachki's outfit because that was Violet Chachki and that's what she does, that is her aesthetic, then, she does a lot of the high fashion stuff. Simone is a different type of queen. And the thing is, we need to respect other people's drag aesthetic and stop always thinking that just because you're a winner of a show that you need to always come out with some ginormous gown and you need to come out looking fierce and like a certain whatever it is you want to look. I lived for this look because it was different. It was paying homage to Little Kim and a lot of the it was about Black excellence. That's what this fashion aesthetic represented. And white queens going on social media commenting on things they do not understand. Sometimes I keep trying to tell y'all need to sit back, shut the fuck up, and learn to listen instead of always trying to interject whatever it is that y'all want to interject into drag, because y'all don't know about it. All y'all know about drag is what you see on TV. I'm sure 90% of you that be on here critiquing these shows, particularly Drag Race, have never done drag, don't know any drag queens personally, and have never been to a drag show. You get a lot of your tea and your information from TV. So unless you understand what really goes into the art of drag, shut the fuck up and just mind your goddamn business and just be a fan, please and thank you. Now I do like I was saying, I love the Violet Chachki's look where she had the crown, and she had the bald head. The crown was like looked like it was molded into her head, and she had the gown on. She had the 12-inch waist cinched in, and that look, yes, it was everything. Like she looked dead, but that was her thing. And people need to stop trying to always hold people to certain regards. Simone does what she does, and Violet does what she does. And shout out to Candy Muse for the comment she made on Twitter, which is basically saying like, yes, I love this look. This look was everything. So yeah, so that's all I got to say on that. So I'm looking forward to next season. I heard they're apparently shooting Drag Race Canada right now. They're calling it Canada versus the World. We'll see if that's true, because they said a lot of the girls disappeared and they're filming that. And I know DragCon is coming up soon, and that'll be around the time that they're going to be filming season 15 of Drag Race. And then I'm hearing, because the rumors are already swirling, about UK All Stars is about to start shortly after to come up in 2023. So there's a lot of Drag Race coming. Plus we got new spinoffs. I heard another dance spinoff. I don't even know where that place is on the map, so I'm not even going to tell y'all. But anyway, let's move on, because I'm spending a little too much time on this. So let's get into Miss Lanithia Monique Leakes. We all know it's NeNe. So NeNe is coming out here suing the girls. And that Bravo and Universal and Andy Cohen have ignored her complaints of systemic racism from co-star Kim Zolciak-Biermann. Now, I don't understand why, of all people, you dragging Kim into this, but Kim is not in your lawsuit. But you naming everybody but Kim. But you mentioned Kim's name, but she's not being brought into the lawsuit. So now Leakes, who's 54, also named True Entertainment and Truly Original in the lawsuit. She is claiming that she heard multiple racist remarks from co-star Kim Zolciak-Biermann, who's 43, including the N-word. Now, attorneys said that the defendants violated federal employment and anti-discrimination laws with their conduct. Not a day goes by that NeNe doesn't wake up with an onslaught of overwhelming emotions. NeNe was a Real Housewives of Atlanta regular, if y'all know, for 10 seasons and a part-time cast member in the show's 7th season. Leakes also said that speaking out about the racist behavior and support of Black Lives Matter factored in her being forced over the series in 2020. But then it's funny that she says this because apparently they decided to use Black Lives Matter as a whole storyline last season, which turned a lot of people off. Not me though. Like you bring up Black Lives Matter, it's cute or whatever, it's fine. And I understand they wanted Portia to do it because Portia's association with the Black Panthers and politics and that sort of thing because of her family and that's that and the third. However, we know Portia is a ding ding. So she wasn't the right person to even be right message, wrong messenger with her. Because when you actually think there's trains in the Underground Railroad, you should not be the bone carrier of anything dealing with Black Lives Matter, Me Too, or any type of political whatever, not even the damn Black Panthers. She shouldn't even be like, none of this with you, boo, because the brain cells can't compute. But for the most part, I just looked at this whole thing as far-fetched with her with all this because I was sitting there saying, you know what, girl, you went along with all of this for so long. You made up to break up with Kim throughout the seasons. Y'all even had that big falling out when Brielle, Kim's daughter, was out here saying that you had roaches up in your house. Y'all had that big falling out, and I was with y'all when y'all ganged up on Kim and she played the white lady victim Karen situation. And so who that? Who the heck was that? Oh, it's gonna be child. I'm loud and I'm like, did I see a spirit walk by? Anyway, so what were we saying? Oh, so I was with her and all this other stuff with when y'all were all winning on her and she came on back on the show as a friend of because she got the spinoff. And we're gonna talk about that spinoff in a second because I never understood. This was another thing too. Because I kind of look back on it, was like, now it took y'all how many years to put Ebony on the Real Housewives of New York or to incorporate Black people on the Real Housewives? Because I did not see it for Ebony being on the Real Housewives of New York. She was not a good fit for that, especially the aesthetic of what those women were about. That show was full of Karens. So I just didn't understand like why y'all would even put a Black woman that someone who's highly educated with a bunch of air brains like the women on the Real Housewives of New York. Now Garcelle over in Beverly Hills is a perfect fit because she is of that life. She is a part of that world. So it makes sense to have a Garcelle on a Beverly Hills because she fits in with that aesthetic. That works for her. That was good casting. New York was not a good casting. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do in New York with the whole diversity thing. But back to Atlanta, when she made the whole roach thing and then everybody dragged her and then she and Croy went in the bathroom and she was sitting there, you need to check them and all this all of a sudden. I'm like, oh, here they go with that white tears and doing all that shit that white folks do when they back into a corner by people who ain't taking that shit. And I always said this in the beginning. Why is it that y'all couldn't do Real Housewives of Atlanta with just an all-black cast? Y'all had to add a white girl in there because I think back then y'all attitude and a lot of the attitudes on TV and nobody wants to talk about this is that y'all want to incorporate. You always want to add one white person to something Black because y'all think it'll soften the blow, and you think that white people will not watch a show with Black folks in it. But Atlanta Housewives turned out to be the #1 most watched show out of all your franchises. People was really living for the girls over there. So I don't understand that mentality, but I understand when you have a bunch of white people running stuff, running a corporation, that is their mentality. They think that you cannot sell a Black product or a Black show without adding white people in it. We've heard it many times in Hollywood how they will say that we can't send Black people a movie with Black people leads or whatever the case is overseas because Black people don't sell. That has been a story that I've heard many a times from many an actor, mainstream actor. They've told it to Denzel. They've told it to so many people over the years. Oh, Will Smith, you can't sell a movie, not overseas. They proved them wrong. So there is that mentality that they think. Now, with this part of the lawsuit, I'm kind of side-eyeing her because NeNe kind of looked the other way and tolerated. Now, I don't know. It's like when everything was going good, with her money and all this other stuff, everything was great, and she looked the other way and was kind of stomping over the other girls to get what she wanted because she thought she was the HBIC and they was going to replace her. But once Bravo got tired of her shenanigans and got tired of all the other stuff that she was doing, they were like, you know what, we're done with you. You can't get away with those other stuff. I can't wait for them to do it to Teresa because Teresa Giudice and all the shit she's doing over in Jersey should not be tolerated. So I want to see them have that same energy for Teresa and her behavior this past season of The Housewives, where she's throwing food and drinks on cast members and flipping tables part 2 and all the other shenanigans she's been doing because she has no storyline besides that Joanne, the scammer she's engaged to. It would nice if they had that same energy. So I'm waiting to see if they're going to have that same energy. I doubt it. But, do I think that there's a bit of racism that's been going on behind the scenes over at Bravo? I would not be surprised. I really wouldn't. I know the girls from the Real Housewives aren't willing to talk about it. They've kind of been ho-hum about it. I know Marlo won't speak on it. Candy won't speak because they've been heavily promoting the Real Housewives of Atlanta, which airs tomorrow, I believe, on Bravo. So the girls have been pretty much silent on this. Now, one of the stories I do believe, so I can't with the other stuff, because I'm like, all of a sudden now, 11, 12, 13 years later, you want to talk about this other accusations. But you was cool with it when you was making so much money and you were the queen bee of RHOA. Now with this one, I do believe. Now NeNe is claiming that Andy Cohen and his shady ass over at NBC Universal went out of their way to blackball her in the industry and sabotage negotiations surrounding her potential Sirius XM radio show. Now I've been saying for the longest when she was going around, trying to get things going as far as like Beyonce, I was like, and I think I've said this on Drinks and Drag, or I may have said it on Wednesday Night Geek. I may have said it on many of shows that I've done. Excuse me. I was like, why don't she do a podcast? Why don't she do this other thing? Because I remember she tried to do a daytime talk show, which we saw that footage, and that shit was a mess. But nevertheless, the potential was there. And I believe she was doing it with Debra Mercury. But then there was that story about Wendy Williams and her husband, ex-husband, Kelvin, put the kibosh on that and sabotaged that deal and was like, well, if y'all go and give NeNe a show, I guess they were threatening to walk, whatever the case was. But they did it to Angie Martinez, they've done it to Charlamagne, they've done it to so many people who try to have a come up. But this is not about Wendy Williams, but she is equated with it because this has happened to NeNe in the past. Now with the podcast deal, and I know someone said to me online, well, why would they even put in the energy of doing that? You will be surprised at what people will do when your star shines brighter than theirs. Now, according to Radar Online, in her 74-page lawsuit filed against Andy Cohen, Bravo, and the Producing Matter, where she was allegedly in talks to start a new show on Sirius XM Radio, she said the defendants interfered with and sabotaged this effort. NeNe claims that Andy Cohen had talked to execs about her behind the closed doors, saying the following. Cohen has admitted that he told Sirius XM that Mrs. Leakes would demand a lot of money for any role on a radio show, an obvious effort to prevent her from getting such a deal. Furthermore, the reality star claims Bravo and the producers of Real Housewives of Atlanta lost all interest in developing her own spin-off show only after she started to discuss the alleged racism she experienced while working for the network. Now, this whole thing about the deal, do I believe that? I believe that when you go out of favor with people, or because I feel like NeNe and Andy were really close. She, helped put together his first baby shower. And he just had another baby. He announced that yesterday on Instagram. He got a daughter now. So he got a son and a daughter and a dog. But no man, because no man wants him. But for the most part, or can put up with his bullshit and that annoying assness, and I guess his addiction to the booger sugar, allegedly. But with him and everything, do I believe like he put the sabotage on that? There are a lot of snakes in the grass, and I think a lot of times NeNe puts her trust in the wrong people and thinks that certain people are her friends, and they'll be quick to fuck you. We've heard this story happen many times people in the industry. Remember the story she told about how she wanted to open, I think, a bar or a lounge in Beverly Hills, and she had asked advice to Lisa Vanderpump, who, you shady, Erica Jane, for what you said about Lisa's breath. It smelled like cigarettes and garlic, and she said something else, I forgot. But I can believe it though. But okay, back to the story. I'd be sidebar. See, sidebar at the top. I tend to throw in a couple of sidebars. But so she, remember there was a story. She said she spoke to Lisa Vanderpump, but she wanted to get some advice because Lisa has opened up, many a bars. She had Sir and a bunch of other places, and with Vanderpump Rules, she has experience in the bar, nightlife scene, lounge scene, restaurant. Like she is pretty much of that ilk. So she was like, oh, let me go to a fellow Bravo celebrity and ask for some advice. And Lisa was like, oh no, you don't want to get a place in that location and blah, 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 so on and so forth. And then weeks later, Lisa went and sealed the deal on that same location that NeNe wanted and pretty much locked her out of that deal. So there's a lot of in this Hollywood industry, a lot of snakes in the grass, a lot of shady ass people You can't trust a lot of these people in this industry, unfortunately. Like I always say, this is not show friends, this is show business. So you got to keep people at bay. You got to hold your ideas close to your chest. Like with me, I have so many ideas and stuff. I'm scared to say them shits out loud to y'all in the transfer because somebody will steal your ideas, and that's something like I don't want. So um, I keep them to myself. I speak them to a certain tight knit group of people who actually like the ideas that I'm coming up with, reality based ideas, scripted ideas, ideas that I come up with this show, and they help me. You know, I have the ideas get thrown out there, and then we manifest it and all other stuff. But with this thing, I do believe that NeNe is someone who has a larger than life personality. I totally think she would thrive in the world of podcasting. She really would. But for someone to go in and be like, you know what? I'm going to do what I can because I have power over at Sirius. I have my own station, and I brought in Bevy Smith and these other people. You trying to do your own deal? I don't want that to happen. I want a piece of that pie. So you're not going to be able to go off over here and do your own thing. And that's unfortunate. And the blackballing, does someone really have the power to blackball you? Because I'm really trying to think. I mean, look, they did it to Monique because Monique was speaking out on injustices that was happening in her career. And people stopped, there were people, you make phone calls and certain people, if you have enough power, you can prevent people from having a job or to get bigger and better opportunities. But we also can't deny that maybe because of NeNe's reputation, and we've seen how she behaves when it comes to certain situations with her emotions, how people put out that she's difficult to work with. Sometimes that ego gets the best of you. Unfortunately, women, especially Black women, aren't able to get away with the same things that men are able to get away with on a daily basis. You're labeled a bitch, you're labeled difficult, you're labeled so many different things. And so many of these factors could be playing into this. It's a complex situation. I'll definitely keep you all abreast of this whole thing because where else can I go with this? This is quite entertaining, I should say, and unfortunate. And I know NeNe misses that good money she was making from being on. Oh, I almost moved my desk. But anyway, I know NeNe is missing that good TV money. So I'm sure she's looking forward to trying to get back on that. And you know what, girl, good luck to you. So I know you're doing College Hill over on BET. I don't know how much the check is over there, but it'll be cute to see like what happens, and hopefully we will get a NeNe renaissance. But girl, if you do when that comeback does happen, until you can get enough power and influence and get to the place. And also another thing I think hurt you too, girl. You should have been, while that iron was striking hot, you should have been out here trying to get on every Ryan Murphy show or whatever the case. Like, what happened with that? You were on The New Normal, you were on Glee, you were on some of these other shows, and then Ryan stopped working with you. You know, Ryan loves working with the same people in a lot of his programs. So I don't know what happened with that. I remember you were Bravo, and Bravo was pretty much, you were just doing stuff with Atlanta Housewives. You thought that was going to be enough. While Candy was out here just hustling hard and had, shows and products and all these different endorsement deals. And her career has kind of just been on the up and up. And all the other girls too. So I'll definitely keep you guys abreast of this story as it develops, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot more coming out, and we'll see what happens. So let's move on and talk about Terry Crews, who, I basically filed him in the coonery and buffoonery file, but he seems to be trying to make amends for some stuff he said in the past. Speaking of Black Lives Matter, on the whole Black Lives Matter movement. So actor Terry Crews is apologizing for his previous remarks about the Black Lives Matter movement. Now, back in 2020, in case y'all need a refresher, at the height of the racial injustice protests that took place following the police murder of George Floyd, the actor, who was 53, shared a few thoughts that many felt undermined the Black Lives Matter social movement organization. Now, Chance the Rapper, as well as CNN anchor Don Lemon, were two of many people that called Terry Crews' tweets into question. Now, what he went and said, Terry Crews, Defeating white supremacy without white people creates black supremacy. Equality is the truth. Like it or not, we are all in this together. Well, child, this is not a kumbaya moment. There's no such thing as black supremacy because here's the thing. I know it's shocking for you to believe, but black people cannot oppress other people. You can't. White people have always been the superior race. They've been the ones who have had the money, the power, the access. They were the ones that were slave trading. Wasn't black people. Now, there's a whole nother conversation we can have about there was some trading and things going on, and you had your step and fetch it Negroes that were, the Samuel Jackson character in Django Unchained. That's a whole nother conversation that we can have for another day. But for the most part, there's no such thing as black supremacy. So he tried that, and you were basically giving fodder to those Trump supporters and all those idiots. Now he says, if you are a child of God, you are my brother and sister. I have family of every race, creed, and ideology. We must ensure hashtag Black Lives Matter doesn't morph into Black Lives Better. Well, that's not the point of Black Lives Matter, but okay. And this was around the time I believe I was doing the Kris Avalon show that I was dragging this heifer for filth because of the stupidity that he was saying with all of this. But of course, his ideas was misguided. But you look, he's apologizing, so we're just recapping. He says, any black person who calls me a coon or Uncle Tom for promoting equality is a black supremacist. I guess I'm a black supremacist then because I called you all the damn things. Because they have determined who's black and who is not. No. That is not what that means. That is not what an Uncle Tom and a coon means. That basically is saying that when you try to sell your people under the river for the approval of white folks who don't give a fuck about your ass anyway, that makes your ass a coon and an Uncle Tom. Ask Herschel Walker and his even cooner of a son. That one that need to come all the way out the goddamn closet. Ask Candace Owens. Ask Kanye West. There's a lot of these coons floating around, Uncle Toms and Aunt Thomasina's. There's a lot of y'all floating around the world. You know, I drag you bitches every time I get. I guess that's one of my little rants. I told you I ran off the cuff. And then he says, please know that everything I've said comes from a spirit of love and reconciliation for the black community first, then the world as a whole, in hopes to see a better future for black people. Well, that ain't it, if that was what you were trying to say. So now he went on Trevor Noah's The Daily Show. Thank God he went on some show that with somebody with some damn sense, where he admitted the words were in poor taste. Now, addressing the situation with an apology, he told the talk show host, I'm going to let you know I really do want to apologize to anybody who was offended by these tweets and was hurt deeply. As an example, as an African-American man, a black man here in this country, I do not want to give the perception that we're supposed to gloss over and forgive the death of George Floyd, the murder of George Floyd. And I want to apologize to everyone right now who was ever offended because it hurt. Now, he also shared some reasons he believes he felt moved to say what he did, attributing his words to a desire for peace and the need to be accepted. He went on to say, I just wanted peace. And I guess it goes back to my approval. It goes back to my need for approval. It went back to that. And again, it was a mistake. It was a mistake to tweet that out at that time, which is why I always say, you know, take a but before y'all go on social media, and this is what I've had to learn over the years. Before you go on social media, take a breath, figure it out is how to articulate your words and understand the conversation before you put anything out there. Anything that has to do with white people killing black folks or cops assaulting underprivileged or people of color is always an emotional trigger for a lot of people. So to not understand that because you live in your little privileged bubble out in Hollywood, you would think you understand, because at the end of the day, when the cops look at you, they don't see Terry Crews. You know what they see. I don't need to say it, but you know what they're looking at. Another dead or another. So when you come out here and you start to act like because you are a part of Hollywood and you're a part of that echelon of the industry, you can't get checked. Look, you would think you would be more sympathetic, especially when you said that agent went and grabbed your meat and potatoes at a party. And you would say you were sexually assaulted and people didn't come to your aid and your defense. Yeah, Wendy Williams basically emasculating you on her own damn show because you went and talked about it. Which is why, it's a perfect example why men don't like to come forward with sexual assault. Men get sexually assaulted. I came to your defense with that because it's not talked about enough. How men are sexually assaulted, how men are propositioned in, the world of business, not just the entertainment industry, but anytime you're trying to move up in the world, things of those situations happen. I'm trying to remember who it was. Oh, I was watching T.S. I was like, who? Another black man. I was watching T.S. Madison, her show, and she interviewed Jensen Atwood from Noah's Ark and asked him about, has he ever been propositioned? And also, he said, yeah, many a times. But that's not what he's not a gay man. He's not trying to do his career that way. He likes where his career is at. That he's climbing brick by brick. He's not being pushed out and having he said he could have had like the big Will Smith career if he would have played that type of game. And ain't nothing wrong with playing that game. Just make sure you got the talent to back it up. So I have to say this, after everything from before, at least when you know better, you do better. And Terry Crews basically came out and said what he said. And so kudos to him for being man enough to admit that he was wrong and that it was put in poor taste. And now he has a better grip and understanding on it. Now, the cynic in me would be like, are you saying this because those roles dried up and all you're getting is America's Got No Talent and other competition reality TV type of or hosting gigs? Like you're not really acting anymore. I mean, he's not in The Expendables 4, which they just showed a preview of that at CinemaCon. I was so mad I was not at CinemaCon. Like I actually want to go to that. I need sponsors, bitch. That's what I need. So I get some sponsors. I can actually get some sponsor coins or someone to sponsor me to go over there so I can do more reporting. Because, yeah, there were so many movies that came out with CinemaCon. It was that, and then John Wick 4. They showed the trailer for that, and they got to see Top Gun Maverick, which I heard is really good. They got to see bits and pieces of the new Mission Impossible that's supposed to be coming out, which is called Dead Reckoning Part 1. And they're currently shooting Dead Reckoning Part 2. I heard Dead Reckoning Part 1 is not even finished, but they went off to shoot Part 2. And there's a whole ballooning of the finances. And I know I'm going off on a tangent, but when it happens, it happens. But it's connected. So I'm kind of upset I didn't get to go to CinemaCon because they have so many different things that's going on with that. And, I love the movies. I love the cinema. I was thinking about that too. That'd be a good thing to ask in the comments. What do y'all think they need to do to get butts back in the theater? Because I know they're doing that. They've been doing that a lot this week where there's been, especially Warner Brothers, groveling to the theaters after they tried that day and date thing last year and it didn't work. So I know Warner Brothers, because they did that, that was their thing, and they thought, oh, we could just fuck you to the movie theater. We gonna release our stuff on the streaming service. And it just proved they lost so much money, which is why now they're under new management. They, I think, were bought up by Discovery. So there's it's a whole bunch of changes stuff going on. But yeah, so yeah, he's not. Oh yeah, because I was bringing up part 4 of Expendables with 50 Cent. I heard is in that. Why? Yeah. But anyway, and I heard he won his money from Tierra Marie by Monday. So we're gonna see what happens with that. So yeah, let's move on and let's talk about Jared Carmichael. Now I don't know if y'all saw his his comedy special that Rothan, I almost called it Rohypnol, but Rothaniel. But there was a big thing about him he was coming out as gay or whatever. I think on his previous one, he had said that he was bisexual or was hinted at that he had sexual relationships with men. But in his Rothaniel stand-up special that, is currently on HBO and HBO Max, he did come out as gay. So congratulations to him. We didn't really get to talk about it on here, but we talk about it now. So he says that many have readily embraced and accepted his truth, but unfortunately, the one person he would like to accept and embrace his truth hasn't. And that person happens to be the woman that gave birth to him, his mother. So he said the following: me and my mom have a God-sized wall between us. My mother holds onto religion because it got her through really rough times. She needed God for every step of her life, and she didn't account for a gay son. She doesn't really know what to do with it. I can feel her being lost. Um, he also went on to tell Howard Stern, I want to work with her, but talking to her and not acknowledging that part of myself causes an overbearing effect of self hate, and I can't afford right now. So I added distance. I don't want the conversation to be fake. I'm trying to eliminate that from my life. It's hard not to be yourself, especially with someone you love so much. Well, here's the thing, nobody in this world asked to be gay. None of us. Because why would we want to ask for something where we are ostracized, ridiculed, beaten, murdered, um, and kicked out of your home when you're a teenager and forced to fend for yourself? So you're homeless in the street. Luckily, if you get to be a part of a house, or in shout out to the ballroom scene, you're able to do that and try to stay out of trouble. But a lot of these kids who are homeless end up in New York or LA, and you're homeless. You get in with the wrong crowd, and you end up strung out on drugs, and you're prostituting, and you wind up with all kinds of diseases, and it's just a whole whirlwind of mess because parents have religion, and religion rears its ugly head, and a lot of you are willing to put that over your own goddamn children, which baffles me. It really does. How people can turn their back on someone who didn't even ask to be brought into this world. So just saying she didn't account for a gay child. I don't think, like I said, I don't think anybody accounts for wanting a gay child or a lesbian daughter or a transgender child. But when you have that in your life, you need to figure it out. Unfortunately, the thing is, I think where mostly it comes from is a place of people not knowing what to do or worrying too much about what other people think, meaning their church friends, because they ain't real damn friends, if they're judging based off of something they were taught in a book that was written by some a human being, not the man upstairs. So don't even get me started on the Grimm's fairy tales. And whatever, I understand, like if you had some things going on in your life that were tumultuous and you prayed hard and the universe, God and everybody, there was something that uplifted you out of your darkest of times. But the reality is your son needs you. And the worst you can do is when you deny your child, because God forbid something happens to him or you, and you're not willing to open yourself up to getting to know your child. It's going to be unfortunate, because I was just thinking, there was a friend of mine who comes from a religious background. I think his mother's a minister, because he was just talking about this the other day. And this is the first time when he said, like, you know what? I'm really happy with a guy that I've been seeing for a while. And because of his background, he's kind of kept it to himself because he was afraid of what his family would say, what his mother would say, because mother's a minister. So he was like, you know what? I'm scared out of my mind, but there were people, he put it out there on social media, and people were giving him words of encouragement. He said, you know what? I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna text my mother. And I believe he's 40. So it's crazy how in Black household it takes you to that age to be like, you know what? I need to be comfortable enough to want to have that. And I think a lot of times, even though my mother is very accepting of me, and he said that he went and he texted her and told her that he was in a relationship with her, because I don't want to just jump over and tell, I want to give you all the resolution that happened. So he said, okay, I'm just going to go and I'm going to text her, I'm going to tell her, you know what, I'm, because I guess, it's like, oh, I know you're gay, but it's like, you were okay with you being gay, but then if you're in a relationship and you're with this, you're with that, then you have to acknowledge everything else that comes with it. Oh, this is real. This is not no phase. This is okay, whatever. So now you're realizing this is some real shit. Like, yes, I suck dick and I ain't gonna change, Shell. So he went and he texted her and he said that it went better than he expected, but it was just the buildup, the anxiety. A lot of times we get so caught up in our head that we're afraid to take that chance. And sometimes when you take the risk, you realize, what the hell was I afraid of? It wasn't so bad after all. And even if you do come out of the other side and it does end up being pretty bad, at least you tried. And the good thing about us as a community is that you can build your family wherever you go. You don't necessarily need to be, blood don't make your family, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, we create our own family. Like, I consider, a lot of the friends that I socialize with my family, even though I am close with my parents. My parents and I, we all get along. They know about me. I've been out for a long throughout most of my adult life. But I think that's probably, now that I think about it, that's probably the reason why I've kind of been hesitant to get into relationships. It's not only it's because I like my independence and I don't like answering to people, but also I think it's also like, okay, now if I get in a relationship, oh my God, it's real. And then I have to, do I bring this person around these people and that people? And they don't know. But it's like, oh, well, now if I bring the person I'm in a relationship around my family members and my parents and this, that, and the third, then it's like, oh, it's real. They have to acknowledge it and they have to understand it. It's like my mother knows. She, it's whatever with her. And she's someone who's religious. I think within the past decade, maybe before that, I wasn't really paying attention. But so who knows? Maybe when I cross that bridge, I'll let y'all bitches know. But for the most part, I've kind of been abstaining from the whole relationship thing, and that on a subconscious level, that could be a thing with me too. That I'm worried a little too much about what other people are gonna say or think, and it comes to a point in time where it's like, you know what, you just can't give a fuck. You just gotta put forward and keep moving. So I guess, you know what, I'll say this: when the opportunity presents itself, I'll give it a chance. We'll go there. So let's. I guess we're done with that topic. So let's move on. And I think the next topic we got is we talking about the Zeus Network and everything that's going on with Anthony and Milan? Or is it I was gonna say Saucy Santana. I think it might be Saucy Santana. But anyway, because I know you got the whole category thing. So as I believe I had on my topics again. Yes. So I should say, Oh, hey, girl. Oh, Saucy Santana gives details about Lil Nas X collab. You got a clip of that? Because I don't have that in front of me. But I should say congratulations to Saucy, because the Material Girl rapper is gonna walk herself over to RCA, and she has signed her deal, so she is a part of the RCA family. And I know she named a couple of people because some people had some trepidations. I think I have that Twitter post that I did send production. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I remember like she was naming some people. I think Maluma's on RCA. Christina Aguilera, I believe, is still with RCA. She remember with label. So congratulations to Saucy, because he's signed to a label. And I had to laugh because Bobby Lights out here talking about that, oh, he's changing the game and this, that, and the third. And it's like, but wait a minute. So, oh, you're an icon. It's like, girl, Saucy started making music just yesterday. I know, not literally yesterday, but it's like, girl, stop. And so you just going to ignore the fact that Lil Nas X was the one who's out here on a major label making music and doing the damn thing, and all the success is coming his way. So I do feel like what we should do is just acknowledge the fact that out music is starting to finally slither its way into the mainstream, which I think is great. So, but the question remains, with him being signed to RCA, are y'all going to do him like y'all doing Normani? Because we still waiting on that debut album from her. So, what's going on with that? So I hope like Saucy is going to be able to really give what needs to be given in regards of the music, and that the label is not going to pull some shit where y'all want to try to keep him under lock and key and he can't really put nothing out. Because that seems to be the thing that happens when you find with a major, is that these major labels really don't want to be out here supporting the girls in the second, third. So I was like, yeah, so congratulations to him. I know he announced it on The Breakfast Club earlier this week when he appeared on there. Because he was talking about his career and all that other stuff. So he said, so the next album, I think with stepping up. I feel like it's now signed to a major label, and then Angela one says, "So you are signed to a major label now?" And then he said, "No, it's." He basically was saying like yes, and then said that he was announcing it at Live on the Breakfast Club. So Alicia Keys, Chris Brown, and Usher are also a part of the RCA. But I should also point out that Alicia Keys is no longer part of um, that label because I believe that was her last album that she just released with I think it was 25 tracks on it. She basically said that I'm pretty much done with the major label, so I believe she's going independent now, which is great because Alicia Keys doesn't require a lot of bells and whistles. And to be honest, her music really hasn't been hitting like her earlier hits. So it makes sense that she would go independent. Like, why not? Like, you could just pretty much release your music on your own cognizance. And plus, you got Swizz Beatz behind you. So he can definitely help you with the marketing part. So shout out to Saucy. And I believe they have a twerking collab. Well, first of all, I'm looking forward to him. Because didn't they say that they worked on what do you call it? A deluxe edition of Little Nas X's album, but I think that was the April Fool's joke. Because they said it was coming and then it never came. Or did it come and I just forgot about it, or it just flew under the radar. Because I believe they had a song together. I reported on it. So I don't know what's going on with that. But whatever these two are doing together, I'm here for it. I would actually love to see them co-headline a tour together. And bring Cakes the Killer along because that's another fierce queen that could use a lot more shine and attention in the spotlight. So I know number 2 is going to be, and then I guess number 1 is going to be my rant towards Mr. Cohen. So number 2, we're going to talk about what's going on with Anthony and Milan over at Bad Boys, LA. So I don't know if y'all been watching, but Milan, bitch, you are problematic. Some of the stuff that you've been saying about some of your cast members is tacky, disgusting, and uncalled for. And I know you need to be doing this on your Instagram because you need attention and because you're living for the spotlight at the moment. And I know it's been years since you've had all this attention on you. You thought your career was gonna pop around Love and Hip Hop, but Mona was like, "Bitch, bye," because the storyline is fake, like your ass. So there's been a lot of that, and then you slut shaming people on social media, particularly Anthony, talking about that he needs some cream for his. I guess you trying to accuse him of having herpes on his mouth, and then posted a video slut shaming him about something he admitted in an interview with him and Rel when they were talking about that when he was 18 and he got slutted out, which, quiet as it's kept, a lot of gays in the community, that is a regular thing. A lot of girls do like getting trains run on them. A lot of girls like anonymous loads and this, that, and the third. And if they do, whose business is it of yours? Because all of a sudden you mother goddamn Teresa when it comes to your sexual, when it comes to your sex capades, and you got Funky Dineva who was in the comments co-signing basically with what Milan's saying, and I'm like, girl, I know you not talking, especially when you be on TGIF every episode talking about you got a new goddamn gentleman caller. So I don't understand how you going to be up here trying to co-sign on people being, being people, grown adults having sex with whoever they want to fucking have sex with. And guess what? Here's the reality, because I work with the Department of Health. There's going to be situations that, if you have sex unprotected or whatever the case is, 9 times out of 10, yes, you're going to probably pop up with an STI. And if you do, what business is it of yours? Number 2, you violating HIPAA laws, that's a problem. That you up in here violating HIPAA laws and spreading people's tea that you shouldn't be doing because, you needed to, as a way you over on Bigo begging for beans. So the need for you to be doing that because you need people to, you basically over there begging for beans on Bigo and hoping to get, pay your car note or whatever the case is, because quiet as kept. Well, people out here saying your car was repoed, and I saw you driving around. I think you was driving a Bentley. But look, if you about that life, you said all that stuff, make sure you bring all your receipts to the union, because them girls are like they about to come out guns blazing on your ass. especially since you tried to make fun of Rel for being 20 in his 20s, living at home. He said you can't even afford lotion, but worried about you and the club that sad. We're gonna get to Anthony because I got receipts on him in a second. Because Milan was out here talking shit, talking about that he's a party promoter, but you don't own nothing. And yeah, girl, them legs is ashy. Like your legs is literally my complexion. No shade, but shade. Um, so you out here talking about Relish living at home with his grandmother, and that he works at a car dealership. So fucking what? What is wrong with someone making an honest living? As long as you out here, you're not doing nothing illegal, you're not sex trafficking, you're not shooting nobody, you're not stealing, you're not doing no PPP scams or whatever the case is. I don't care how you get your money, as long as you're doing it legally. We shouldn't judge people because they're out here literally working for a living.
I said what I said.
And I ain't gonna change it.
Allegedly.
No, it ain't a alleged, bitch. I'm not changing what I said. But so Rel out here working, that was his thing before. Where the money reside. Where the money reside. That's his claim to fame, when he did that viral video. He got brought on the show. Basically, everybody's saying quiet as it's kept that you guys put on, this show because of your friendship with Natalie Nunn. So who cares how people got on the show? And then you trying to discredit Anthony, talking about he a party promoter. No, bitch, he owned the club. Now he was, and I got the receipts to prove it. We're gonna pull it up in a second. Because I always come with receipts, bitch. So now, Anthony was a party promoter out in Texas. The club that he was promoting, he quit. The place went bankrupt weeks later. So they lost the club that he was working at. And then he went and bought that said club out in Texas, a gay club. So what Anthony does and what he's doing, at least he's putting into the community. At least he owns something. As far as I know, according to the story, according to the report. So stop being out here and judging how people make their money. As long as they're doing something honest, and you really are thinking like that's a bad thing. Like you make, but I get it because we live in a society where unless you're popping, unless you are a CEO and you own your, 100% of your own company, unless you're doing what needs, unless you're an entrepreneur of sorts, then you're a bum. Oh. I was like, well, I don't want to open that. I wanted to open a messenger. I was thinking that maybe this is it. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, yeah, here it is. So wait for it. Oh, it's from outsmartmagazine.com. So, and this was 12 months ago. Anthony looking cute, honey. So it says LGBTQ activist and local party planner Anthony Hernandez, who is also known as Anthony Uncensored, turned the big 3-0 last May 14. It was during COVID, so I didn't celebrate, says Hernandez. So this year I wanted to do something big, maybe travel somewhere. But Hernandez isn't going anywhere. Instead, he's throwing a big community bash at his new club in West Houston, saying, I worked at the previous club in this building for 2 years as a special events planner. I brought in the LGBTQ business and built up businesses on Friday nights. It was, and built up business on Friday nights. It was a home for the community, a safe and fun space. But then things changed with that club's management, and Hernandez says the atmosphere just didn't seem so welcoming anymore. When he was told his services were no longer needed, he left, and so did the LGBTQ crowds who followed him. About 2 months later, I heard they filed for bankruptcy and closed the club. He says, I knew the leasing company and asked them about the property. They said that because the lease was still in effect, would have to be left in line and was the first in line when the lease expired and the space was ready to rent again. He signed the lease for the property at 9232 Richmond Avenue on April 12th. The first thing I did was take the name off the building and then completely renovated the 3,000 square foot space. We don't have a kitchen, but we do have a full bar and special sections. They also have gender neutral restrooms and will follow the city's COVID sanitation and safety guidelines. Now, Hernandez calls his new club House HTX because it was our home, our house, and it really is a home for the community. We have trans men and women, lesbians and gays, and all races working here. I want it to be very diverse. I want anyone who comes in to feel completely comfortable. So on May 14th, Hernandez's 31st birthday, House HTX will open to the public with a big splash. We're going to say, I can say connection issues. I think it's fine. It says, okay, so I'm going to go back. So on May 14th, Hernandez's 31st birthday, House HTX will open to the public with a big splash advertised as the Anthony Uncensored official birthday celebration. It will be a 3-day long event featuring DJs and late night dancing. Hernandez calls the club Houston's official gay after hours place, and he hopes that other LGBTQ businesses and organizations will rent the space for special events. It's like God told me, I don't want you to just work at this club. I want you to own it. So it's our house now. So if y'all are interested, definitely go check it out. House HTX over in Houston, on West Houston. So yeah. So for you to be out here throwing shade at somebody, I'm just interested to hear what's going to happen at this reunion. And Milan, you better come because we know your ass can't fight. So you better come with real security and not them bootleg security that Lemmy over at the Zeus Network is paying for. You better come with your actual security and pay it out your, from your little dildo line, just digging the funds from that, and hire some security because we know, like I said, your ass can't fight, and you about to get dragged because you out here talking about gutter got STDs or got illnesses or whatever, and talking about he homeless. You was talking shit about so many people in the house, and plus, and so you got a lot to answer for when this reunion comes up because the show's already done. So, Anthony has a response to the accusations of Milan that I wanted y'all to hear before we wrap up this story because the girls is fighting. Ooh, cute or whatever. And I like the thick one, and he's cute and thick too. Ain't nothing wrong with being a thick child though. Like he was trying to make it seem like he boxed and he fat or whatever the case is. Like Anthony literally looks like a regular, you know, Spanish gay boy, which is like, there's some we all can't live in the gym and look like Milan. Not everybody, because you got your complexes. You're like 4'9". You like little Kim height. So of course you need to be in the gym because it ain't gonna look right. You're gonna look like a butterball if you don't work out. So if Anthony, his thickness works in all the right places, and some boys like that. And for you to sit there and body shame, because that's what you was doing. You was slut shaming and you was body shaming. Two things that are prominent within our community that tends to happen, where we are sexual beings, but y'all worry so much about, oh, y'all gonna set us back 500 years because apparently y'all don't want straight people to know we fuck. Well, we're all human beings, but straight people get to lay low and spread it wide all over TV all the time. But of course, when y'all want to sit and judge gay men for doing what they should be doing in their own natural habitat, and because he's grown, right? It's not like he's an underage little boy having sex with a grown ass man. That'd be a different story, and that'd be sexual pedophilia, whatever you want to call it. But and then the body shaming, which is something that we deal with a lot in the gay community, where men have body dysmorphia. Even if you work out, there's body dysmorphia. There are things where gay men are uncomfortable in their own skin when it comes to talking about or dealing with their bodies and constantly being in the gym and having different eating disorders and that sort of thing. So yeah, that is something that is prominent in our community that we need to be working out. And you thinking it's being cute because you out here trying to read girls, but there's a crazy impact of that takes that toll on a person. But so without further ado, I want y'all to hear this clip, and then we'll come back with me wrapping this topic up. Oh, okay.
How did they So this was my thing. I think I was like 18. And I went to like a sex party, and you was like the middle. Yeah. So I accidentally fell on the bed, and everybody in the party was just like, not everybody. It was like 6 guys. It was like not that packed anyways, and they just like went to town. I loved it. Okay, with town, right? So after the first nigga went to town, they were just taking turns. And okay, so how did they feel? Honestly, I feel like this, right? It felt amazing. I feel like it feel get you sexually ready. Huh? I feel like it get you sexually ready.
Ooh. Child, I was online and one of my friends told me he just broke up with his boyfriend on the drama. We'll read that later. the girls are fighting, literally. It's like not only we got Milan fighting with everybody on this show, but I got my real life gays fighting. Anyway, that's a little something for me later. A little catnip for me to nibble. But not that I'm trying to make light of, you know. Like,
so this is my thing. I think I was like 18. And I went to like a sex party, and you was like the middle. Yeah. So I accidentally fell on the bed, and everybody in the party was just like, not everybody. It was like 6 guys. It was like not that packed anyways, and they just like went to town. I loved it.
He fell on the bed.
All right. So after the first nigga went to town, they were just taking turns. And okay, so how did they feel? Honestly, I feel like this, right? It felt amazing. I feel like it feel get you sexually ready. Huh? I feel like it get you sexually ready.
Yeah, he basically said, you know what? If the guys went to town, and Anthony got a fatty. He got a big old butt. I mean, shit, I'd go to town on it too. I mean, he's cute. You know, some of the boys, you know, there's boys out here like them light-skinned boys with, you know, small waist, big ass, and them full DSLs. So, not everybody wants just, you know, 0% body fat. Like some people like something to hold on to. Me personally, that's what I like when it comes to my bottoms. But and for the most part, like I've been to sex parties and I like going to sex parties and I have my little freakisms and this, that, and the third. And we shouldn't judge people on things that they're into or, you know, when you get to be in this habitat of men and, you know, there's just a variety. Like you go to the ice cream shop and there's like, you know, you got your chocolate and your vanilla and your Neapolitan and your strawberry and your not cranberry, ew. Oh, you could do the cranberry, you know, they got sherbet. You know, you have your different flavors and there's different things for different people and everything, you know, and specific. And then they do have their specific type of sex clubs where it's like, you know, they only want, you got to have, you know, big dicks only and you got to be, you know, jacked as in physically. So, you know, there's people have their trepidations, whatever. But anyway, shout out to y'all. I'm definitely going to keep abreast of the drama of this and when it goes on. I can't wait for this review. And child, if y'all need a host, I'll definitely be the referee up in there, but I ain't fighting because I don't do that. I ain't messing with the skin and his hair. But anyway, yes, I'm definitely looking forward to this. And another thing, because I know, like, Karan, you are messy because I know that you have Bad Boys Club, which is why they can't call it Bad Boys Club over on Bad Boys LA because Karan, I believe, owns that name and it already exists on YouTube. So they got Bad Boys Club, which is an all-gay Bad Boys Club, basically. When they stay up in the house and there's drama and fighting and all kinds of other stuff that's going on, a bunch of, you know, I don't know how many boys on it this season, but it's a lot of them. But I know that the premiere of that is tomorrow. I know soon in the future we're supposed to be doing a reality roundup thing with Wednesday Night Kiki. That'll be coming back soon. So we'll probably do a whole thing with that. But I did say at one point I'm going to do a Bad Boys versus Bad Boys Club. Who's really bringing it? And, you know, if y'all faking storylines and try to create moments for a storyline, you know, I'm going to definitely call you out. And people, particularly Milan, I feel like is trying to create a storyline. And I think all this drama, because I didn't bring that up, stems from the fact that he, if you say anything remotely calling him out on his shit and being remotely negative towards him, then all of a sudden he wants to say you're fake or you're doing this, that, and the third, and all because that's why he's mad at Emily, because he feels like, oh well, you was up in my mind, you were trying to get with me and this, that, and the third from the beginning, but now because I wouldn't give you I wouldn't answer your or acknowledge your advances or whatever the case was. That's why we're trying to give him the sex toy on I think last week's episode. Was it the week before? I don't remember because all these episodes feel like they kind of been interweaving each other. Like I feel like y'all been hanging out with NeNe, where it's like y'all got 30 minutes spent on one damn scene and don't know how to edit. Stuff down to 10 minutes, like they do over at Love and Hip Hop. I'm sure there'd be things. Shout out to Bona Scott Young because she really know how to edit a damn show. Y'all be having like a 5-hour scene go on literally for 5 hours. She cut that shit down to 10 minutes or less. We'll go with 4. Because, you know, all of a sudden y'all everything's nice and then y'all start
fighting what I said.
And then all of a sudden y'all fist fighting. That's usually how it is, but yeah. Zeus Network, y'all really need to learn how to edit y'all shit down.
I'm acting.
That's what it feels like some of you bitches on there doing it also. Okay, so let's get to our number one thing, and then this is about Andy Cohen. You know, congratulations to him for you know, he's got a new baby. I know it's a girl. I don't really feel like looking up the name right now. I don't. But the reality is, because this is going to be one of my little rants. You know, I do a little rant at the end, unfiltered rant. That's what we're calling it. And Andy, you a messy ass queen. Because I do believe that all this shit that you've been saying, like they've been saying about with the whole thing with NeNe Leakes and how you move messy in this industry. And I know a lot of people do not like him. Like I will post something about him and you don't realize how many people don't like him. And it's unfortunate. I think it's because, you know, and I really like I will admit I liked Andy in the beginning. I was like, oh yeah, we got some gay representation. He's got a talk show, Watch What Happens Live, and I did like the show in the beginning because we had so many iconic moments from that show. Close Your Legs, Married Men, Trash Box, and so many different things where so many people have graced the stage on that channel. But I don't understand how the fuck a show nobody watches is still on Bravo. Nobody's watching Watch What Happens Live. I can't tell you the last time I watched Watch What Happens Live, but that shit is still on. But y'all canceling Shaws of Sunset. Say that 2 times fast. Speaking of which, Selling Sunset is back on Netflix. That's my show though. And then a lot of the stuff that's been coming out where it's like, we know that Andy loves people, you know, black men in his bed. But as far as like opportunities and this, that, and the other, I think he moves messy. Especially like the thing that's been going on with NeNe Leakes. Now I know they was friends at first, but I feel like because yes, NeNe has been very vocal about, I think she's at her, and when she was at her wits end, I don't know, there could have been a lot of stuff going on with her at the time when she slammed the laptop during the reunion and she felt she was like she was being ganged up on, and then the situation that happened in her closet and so many different things. It's like, oh, because she won't go along to get along, now she's difficult, now she's this, now she's that. Do I believe that he does go around sabotaging people? Perhaps. When you are someone who is in a powerful position, when you work for a major network, you've been making moves throughout the industry. Like, remember, he started out at CBS. And then he's over at Viacom and I mean, not Viacom, Viacom is CBS, but now he's with NBC Universal and he's been doing other stuff. I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. I always say, like, I don't even believe that he will ever find love in his life because no man want to be around him. That's why he got to keep having all these damn kids. And that's great because there's some people out here who need to have that. There's some people that, you know what, my love is my children because I'm a workhorse and I'm whatever the case is, and I need to be in my whole situation with my children because I can't be satisfied by relationships. I don't like being in a relationship. I think that's what's happening with Madonna, when she recently broke up with Malik. Malik, how the fuck you say his goddamn name? The little 25-year-old that she been dating for 3 damn years. The French one. She sent him back to France because I think that's where he's from. Yeah, so she sent him packing. And I think like she'll never find love and she'll always be in a relationship with her children because that's just basically the only ones who will give her the unconditional love. And I think that unfortunately is what he's gonna get with that. But I always say this, when you do dirty by people, that shit gonna come back to you. It's like what Whoopi Goldberg or Miss Seeley said in The Color Purple. till you do right by the people, everything you think about is going to crumble. Everything you do in life, everything you're going to touch is going to fail. So while Watch Rappers Live is holding on by a thread, at least you have your 2 kids to fall back on, and I don't know what's going on with the podcast. I don't know one person that listens to it. If y'all do, let me know in the comments. But yeah. I just think like I really over the years have wanted to like and support people within our community. You know, I've always admired his work ethic and the things he's done, but to stomp on others to get where you want to go in life, I don't like that. How you treated Kathy Griffin, and then yo no talent ass went and thought that you could step in her shoes and thinking, oh, well, I could be your typical tacky homosexual and just drink a bunch and get on the camera and just start saying a bunch of unfiltered stuff and think it's funny when you've only pretty much embarrassed yourself because you're not funny. You're one of those obnoxious, annoying queens that I can't stand when I go out to the bar in the club. Like, that's what he gives me. Those girls that I be seeing out of the club that I be wanting to literally Drita DeVanzo your ass. And if you know who Drita DeVanzo is from Mob Wives, you know exactly what I mean when I talk about her. Like, I'll be the main one that be punching you in your damn face because you getting on my goddamn nerves. That's me up in the bar. But I can't be fighting out here in these streets. I can't be doing what I used to do. Can't catch no more cases. I already got enough misdemeanors. So, yeah, there's that. So, Andy, she messy. I don't like him. I don't like the way he moves out here. And it is what it is. But you know what? I am a fan, unfortunately, of the Real Housewives. So if I have to, I will sit through the reunion of New Jersey because I'm there for these messy women and not for him, even though he's the moderator. I will sit through, you know, all these other shows that he does if he's a part of it as part of the reunion because I'm here for those girls in the show, not him per se. So, you know, I tolerate people I don't like all the time because that's just what we do. It's kind of like I can't stand Todrick Hall, but I do like his new song Prima Donna. I can't deny it's a bop. And I always tell people that. It's like, even if I don't like the artist per se, like I love the song, but I hate what comes from. I like the show, but I hate yo ass created it. That makes sense. Does that make me sound like a hypocrite? I don't know, and I don't give a fuck. But that just comes with being human. We're all flawed, we're all complex. It's not as black and white as we like it to be. So on that note, I think I'm gonna end rant. Thank you all for watching and listening to this segment of this show. I like this idea of Kris Avalon Unfiltered that we're doing a sidebar, which is we just go and do like the top stories of the week. I think I'm gonna label and see like what the top stories are and just do like a little countdown. I think that's really cool that we can kind of do that because it's something different and something exciting. Still working it out. Can't wait till I can get this stuff linked to my Instagram and this and the third. I am on TikTok right now. So you can all add me over there. I did add it to it's on my Facebook. I put it up, right? I think it's TikTok/the Kris Avalon. Just created it recently. So I haven't added anything to it yet, but I will be adding some stuff to it soon. So yes, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm everywhere. That's what we do. But on that note, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Please, I will keep you posted on when we will officially debut and all this good stuff that's going to be coming up. I'll definitely be entertaining you bitches throughout the summer because this is what the show's going to be. Like, if I was normally doing it, it would have been from September to like July, the end of July. Then we would have taken the whole month of August off, and then when it came back, that was kind of the rollout of how I was doing the original Kris Avalon show. But Kris Avalon Unfiltered, I'll definitely keep you all abreast of what's going on with that. Also, let me know what you think of this first episode and what topics you would like to hear me talk about. Like and subscribe, do all the good stuff, leave that in the comments. So in the meantime, like I said, thank you all for listening and thank you all for watching. Till next time, I'll keep saying it like I said on my other show because the bitch is consistent. Ciao, darlings.
Unfiltered, filtered, filtered, filtered.